You're currently watching on Stream B, and so in case you're wanting to look forward to where the match of that final game for Weibo, that's gonna be on Stream A. So make sure you support on that one. And yes, Weibo Gaming, we saw them a while ago, Kongling, Guhuai, Guiyu, Nono, and JD. Really impressive patience from a while ago, waiting for the proper timing and not really giving up. For as long as the crystal is there, they didn't really lose hope. And I think that is something we can adapt as players in the rank game. As grinders in the rank game, right?
Yep, absolutely. Their resilience, their mental fortitude to crawl back from that game was absolutely crucial. I hope they keep up with this sort of mentality. The game's not over until your crystal breaks, and you gotta fight throughout the entire way, because this is the biggest stage right now for Honor of Kings. It is the Esports World Cup. There is more than $3 million on the line for all these teams to fight for, and they have to make sure that they bring out their best. They bring out their A game against their opponents, because Loops is not going to be easy. They are one of the best teams from the Brazilian region, and Weibo Gaming, they did have to come through a gruesome last chance qualifiers to make it here. But hey, they are finally here, and they want to make sure they stay.
Or they have come prepared in here, ready to grind all those points as much as they can right off the bat. And again, it was a pretty shaky game a while ago from Weibo. Let's see if they will be able to show us an improved execution as they go on a match against Loops. But then again, at the same time, I'm actually wondering, will there be an early ban once more? Will we be able to see another Ogren ban or respect? I think that is something personally I will be looking forward to.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be, the draft is going to be becoming very important. Like you said, the Arlies has sort of been on a tear, and we did finally see it banned the previous game. But hey, let's see if both these teams put as much emphasis on Arlie as we do. She is one of the strongest marksmen right now, and you really have to take that into account when you formulate your composition or your strategy around or against it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And usually, even if you actually build a composition, even when it's lockdown, CC lockdown, like that of the Musashi we saw a while ago, I mean, the Arlie still shine in the end because she's just basically dishing out a lot of damage, bursting down the life of this Musashi. But we'll see about that. For the meantime, though, our first few respect bans in here will be in the form of the Mai Shiranui, Datsiao. We've seen a while ago, didn't win that game, but the surprise attack potential, which was quite annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. The surprise potential, the burst, it is sure it's a heavily single target, but it's still something you have to look out for. And so Loops doesn't want to look out for that. They just take it out of the pool along with the Dalia. Weibo Gaming ban out the Ming and the Daqiao. So a lot of support-centric bans here in this particular matchup, and that allows Arlie through the pool, and Loops is going to pick that up for Zeri. I mean, Zeri had a fantastic game on the Arlie, and he's going to get another chance to show the world what he's got once again.
That's so true. And Ogren seems like pretty much, even though it's pretty new, it's either going to get banned or going to get picked by our teams. I think it will now just again boil down onto execution. But for the meantime, looking at the first two picks in here by Weibo, of course, they do have the early game potential with the Ogran, Lady Jen as well, if they want to go for either that initiate or the disengage as well. But at the same time, Arlie, late game potential, Musashi, gonna go for that CC lock as he go for that ult dive, and a lane for the flank. So looking good so far for both of the teams, but maybe I will be wanting more sustain or tankiness for the side of Weibo Gaming.
Yeah, Weibo Gaming, they don't have a lot of front lines. Like you said, the Ogren does need a little bit of time to come into to make his in towards the game. He does need a couple of items before he is really able to play in towards that front line. So let's see if they're gonna draft around it, or are they just going to let this Ogren play by himself. Meanwhile, it is going to be the Elena Musashi, decent frontliners there for the side of Loops, but they do still need a mid lane and a support for themselves. So not much mid lanes left in the pool. Lady Zen picked up by Weibo, and the Princess Frost banned from Weibo. So you're left with the mid lane. Maybe a Shangguan that is available if they want to go for more single target. If they want to go for more team fight, the Zhou is available. The Dr. Bien is available for them to go for. The Hey Noor is also still left in the pool for loops. So let's see what they're going to go for. Because if they pick up the Hey Noor, that's going to be 3 heroes that's capable of playing in the front. And that's going to be a problem for this Ogryn to play against.
I'm actually also looking for an Angela. Been a while since I last saw this Angela. Not getting picked earlier on in a few series of matches. There's again more priority either on the creation of space by the Princess Frost or Lady Jen. At the same time, pick up potential by the Mai Shiranui. But yeah, I wonder if there's gonna be an Angela pick in here, but maybe not anymore because again, you mentioned it already. So much one target skill in here coming from the side of Loops. So in terms of AOE, maybe we should be looking more on that. Yeah, like Joyu or like Daji, why not, right? Xiao Chao as well. They're still there. But Lianpo and Matsu being locked in here for the side of Loops. So I think in terms of the engage, this is pretty safe. Pretty safe as the last 2 picks for themselves.
Yep, and they continue on with their tankiness, right? The Lian Po and Mozu, both heroes, can play towards the front, can play very aggressively in the front lines as well. So that's going to allow them to really play aggressive as long as they're not too far behind. And this RL is going to be very well protected. There's so much CC and stun coming from the entire Loop squad. While Weibo Gaming, they have the silence from Sun Bin, they have the Lady Zen with the freeze and the knock-up, and of course the Ocean of Tears. And Byron is a great way to initiate as well, but it is a lot harder to coordinate all of that.
Right, the Renji in here getting picked as the last one. We almost totally forgot about him. It's a balance between when he is gonna go online, so I think it's pretty much safe to say that in terms of saving himself from the CCs that the Matsu as well as the Lianpo is gonna give on in here, he'll be able to make himself safe. For as long as I think still though, he needs the Sunbin to be around him to make sure that he is not gonna get flanked by either the Musashi or the Elaine.
Yeah, definitely a decent pick. I mean, against, like you said, all these CCs, he has the way to purify himself with his second skill. But still not an easy game to play against. Musashi is able to lock him down. You've got the Lian Po able to jump towards the back line. And Arlie is always going to be keeping her eyes on you, trying to find an opening to burst you down. So tempo-wise, though, that might be an advantage going towards the way of the Direnjie. The Direnjie is a lot faster in terms of tempo. So if the side of Weibo is able to abuse that, we might see a quick win for them. But if Loops is able to bring this to the late game, then we might be in for a long one here.
Definitely, I agree. It will now just really always fall down onto execution of their draft. But for the meantime, just as we see, definitely a need of help in here for the Matsu to clear off the minion waves faster so that they can rotate towards the other end of the map. But surprising though, we can see Nuono actually wanting to back up the Byron more onto the top side on the early.
They want to make sure that the Byron has a good lane. He's supposed to be the lane dominator. He's supposed to win against the Elaine, and they want to make sure that that is the case. They don't want the Musashi to slow him down, slow down his farm, and just create havoc there. Elaine is stronger towards the late game just because of the team fight, but here 3 heroes from the side of Weibo hanging out towards the mid. Loops will mirror the same thing as well, putting 3 heroes towards the mid. They leave the Musashi there to just as a body in the mid to try and stall things out.
Because we have a fight going on to the bottom lane part of the map. Super low in HP is JD already getting CC'd here and there by Mithy using the Lianpo. So that was looking scary. Again, even though with the cleanse, legal immunity, he's not super safe because we are talking about a lot of CC to deal with.
Yeah, JD is a bit behind in terms of the levels. He has to watch out. His HP is not that high as well. The Lianpo as well as Zeri on the early definitely can find an opening to pick him off. And Direnjie is one of those heroes where you want him to get off to a good start. You want him to snowball in towards a beast in the mid lane, a mid game. So any kills early on, it's going to be trouble. But meanwhile, top lane, they're trying to engage on towards Guiyu, but this is deja vu. Remember the double kill that Guiyu got? This might be another situation just like that, but looks like Loops is gonna learn from the lessons of All Gamers Global, and they're gonna back off, not gonna commit too much to try and defend this tower. And this Azure Golem is going to be attempted to be stolen here by Weibo, and it looks like Loops is not gonna do anything about it. They're just gonna let them have it and get a steal of their own on the other side as well, giving it towards the side of Zeri.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the cross-map play is there in a way. Don't engage in a fight you sure you cannot win. So it seems like, again, they're being very careful in here. They want to make sure that they go onto the late game and avoid giving more kills onto, or giving any first blood kill onto the side of Weibo Gaming, because you don't want the power spike to come off of the Renji. But yeah, for the meantime though, I love how safe they are onto the bot, but all the thought onto the top side. Flash already has been used in here, but they continue to engage. Look at the first blood coming from our Lady Jen, thanks to the backup, of course, coming from Ogran, going for that path of passing, followed up by the Conductor of Soul. But then again, Renji will just be trying to play safe onto the bot.
Yep, Zeri tried to open things up there, but Mitty was a bit too far. As a Golem, the Crimson Golem in a bit of trouble. It will be Kongling the one to pick it up, so that's going to be early game lead going towards the way of the Malaysian squad right now. Bottom lane, Direnji has to watch out. This Lianpo can jump on you at any single time, and you can only purify one skill. Lianpo has 4 stuns.
True, that's what we're talking about. And it's not just Lianpo you have to worry about, because there's Kang, there's also ABH onto the Masashi. Again, we're talking about a lot of CCs in here, so I think he needs to make sure that there is some sort of additional backup to come his way. But hold of thought, because we have an invade happening here on the jungle camp of Loops, and I think it was stolen away, right? Kongling took it away from the side of Loops.
Kongling able to get the last hit, that's going to be huge there, because Musashi without the Sage Golem buff, Azure Golem buff, he's not going to be as mobile, as tanky as he'd like. So ABH not having the best game of his life at the moment. It is still only 1,000 gold lead though, going towards the way of Weibo Gaming. Not an insurmountable lead by any stretch of the imagination. So the next fight, as long as it goes decent for the way of Loops, they will find themselves back into this game.
That's so true, but for the meantime, objective is already up in here, and it seems like all of the teams are positioning themselves. Tempest for sure is going to be catching up with the Primal Portal, but for the meantime, look at the burst damage coming from the side of Loops. Arlie locking some source of damage in here, but bursting down the life of JD in the process. But hold the thought, you are being sandwiched already. You weren't looking at Kongling in the process. I think that was a very aggressive move coming from Sarah in that bot lane engage.
Yeah, he couldn't get out, no more Parasol, everything's on cooldown. He just has to submit to his fate and maybe try and get a kill on his own on towards JD. But JD just played at too safe of a distance. They weren't able to get him to get the kill on towards JD, but at least they got the Tyrant going towards the way of Weibo as well. So net worth lead still 700 right now. Top lane Tempest trying to go for Gu Huai, but it's tough with Sunbin, with Nono protecting him at the moment. So the Primal Bonds will stop Weibo Gaming to attempt on towards this Overlord. Not that the Overlord is very important at this point of game, but it is still a little bit of an objective that Weibo would have loved to gun.
That's so true, and I think they're just waiting for a potential gank in here that could happen. But in any case, everyone's just scattered around the map right now. Will there be a potential kill onto the Byron? Look at the damage early on coming from Sarah. I think if given a chance, she's able to free hit at any point in time. It will be something that is wonderful for the side of Luz. But that is not happening right now. Well, said Weibo Gaming, but hold on, look at that! Kang is gonna fall down. Really nice combination of skill coming from our Lady Jen in there, freezing him, not able to just flash away in the process.
Tank being the mid laner usually don't build too tanky. That's why he just fell very quickly here. And that gives the opening for Weibo to go towards the tier 2 tower. Here backline, Kongling being a one-man army, really pushing two heroes back. The Arlie as well as the Lianpo could not join their team in time to defend the tier 2 tower. So this game fully in control of Weibo Gaming right now. And Loops trying to find an opening. Here comes the Tremor towards the back lines, only knocking up Nono.
No.
The silence comes in by the Sumbin as well to try and stall them, but not enough follow-up, not enough damage on both ends. So it's just going to be a trade of ultimate cooldowns, but no kills going on either side.
Oh no, yeah, that Tremor smash could have been a game changer, but with the movement speed provided by Nuo, they're just like, you know, okay, we're gonna be backing away really quickly with the additional movement speed that we have. But I think somehow Tempest is trying to make some cross-map play onto the top side part of the map just to, you know, pressure Weibo Gaming onto trying to separate themselves. But hold on, because ABH will fall down already. Will there be a chase onto Tempest? Is he going to be locking down? Going to be making use of the death at sunset? Will he be able to save his life under the tower right now? To no afford, he will fall down. Wow, this is now, I think, a Weibo Gaming just wanting to capitalize on their lead right now.
Yep, 2 kills on very crucial heroes from the side of Loops. That's Weibo Gaming's time signal to just go full on pressure, get every single objective on the map, take away all the jungle creeps from your opponents, and look for the next opening to push up to the high ground. The Shadow Tyrant as well as Overlord is about to spawn, so that's going to be the target for the side of Weibo before they try and push up towards this high ground. But first, they want to try and get a pick off. This might be Lianpo. Mitty is able to back off for now, though. Here comes the Ogren towards the back. Huge silence. And here comes the Ogren. Uncontested, undefeated. Oh, the Musashi caught in a bad place. ABH in trouble. ABH will fall. Arlie dropping down very low. Ogren going for more. Another hero goes down. Tempest low. The Emperor has to use the flash to back off. But this might be too much there for Loops to hold back. Double kill going towards the way of Kongling. And this might be an opening. No, the crit rate is a bit too far for them to push up to the high ground. So they will be content with taking every single jungle camp away from Loops and then head for the Tyrant.
I really commend the setups that Guhuai is actually doing in here. He just, you know, disappears or hides in the bushes. Just wait for that setup to actually go into process. We take a look at this one. It's actually already started when Lady Jen actually go for that slow and freeze onto his targets. Members on the side of a team, Loops in here, try to go for a play, but then again, we're talking about a free hitting D-Renji onto the back line. At the same time, Ogren with some itemization for some sustain already. He is just healing himself. Almost unlimited.
Too much to deal with there with the lifesteal, and they don't really have any way to stop his healing at the moment. If you look at the itemizations, no venomous staff, no way to stop the healing, no way to stop the regeneration coming from the Ogren. So that is something that they have to look out for. If they don't build the correct items, they're gonna have a tough time killing off this Ogren, who is going to have the time of his life, just continuously regenerating in every fight.
That's true. Well, they do have the Blazing Cape on the Alain and the Musashi, but then again, these two are getting killed like very quickly as they try to go for the flank and the front line, with the damage coming from the Lady Jen as well as the D-Renji. But then again, I think they need to be very careful because they are being seen in the map right now. Look at that silence coming from our Sunbin right now, just allowing the rest of the members of Team Weibo to free hit. More kills in here. Look at what Kongling is doing, just basically providing the space very much needed for his teammates to actually take down the turrets. The question is, this gonna be it? They're trying to focus fire on the crystals. Remember, the side of Team Lux is trying to still defend on this one, but in the process they will fall down. ABH too. But then again, look at this. In the process, we will get a pause. Okay, that was like climax breaking, but oh, this is pretty close. I wonder if this is it, Zero.
At this point, I don't think it matters too much. There's only one player left alive from the side of Loops, and you know, all 5 heroes from the side of Weibo Gaming are still alive. They can go for the crystal right away. And yeah, I don't see, like, you know, this pause really making a huge difference in the game at all. No was AFK for at least 10 seconds. That might have been his device crashing, or maybe maybe disconnections coming on his end. But just some technical issues do happen. They can be very unforeseen. There's a lot of things that's happening that can cause these issues. But hey, it didn't affect the outcome of the last team fight at all. Just because Nono, his team was winning with him not really using any single skill, so it's not gonna affect the outcome whatsoever. It's just they want to make sure that everybody's back in the game to make sure that Weibo Gaming is able to finish things off, because 4 heroes are already dead with the Arlie trying to run away back to his fountain. I think that was the situation before the pause came in. So this is looking like it's pretty much over there for Loops. Unless some miracle happens.
Some miracle happened. Like, that I don't know if you saw that meme where in Hino, but there's no Hino in here. Going for the Fate Rewind onto the crystal. Well, that's just a meme. That couldn't happen.
Heal it back to full.
Right. Right, well, that's pretty impossible. It was already mentioned in the description that it's just gonna be the towers. But yeah, then again, I love the space being created by the Ogran in here for sure. The itemizations is already in there, able to somehow tank the front line and just allowing Lady Jen and Renji to go for that free hit onto the back line as well. Mostly Renji onto the focus onto the towers, because that's his primary job. The rest will just be creating the space for him to go for that purpose or role in this particular composition. But yeah, the crystal was just like about 15% HP, so it could just like be a focus fire, but it could also be momentum break. We'll just have to find out as we go for a resume. And this is actually a wipeout. They're just gonna be waiting off on the minion waves to crash in, but they're already focus firing in here. And here we go as Weibo Gaming takes that win up against Loops. Wow.
That was a very impressive showing there by Weibo. They don't look too tired. They don't feel too tired to take the win against Loops. And that was a very convincing win. I think throughout the entire game, it didn't feel like, Weibo Gaming really lost any form of control over the map. And that was just a very impressive showing there from the Malaysian squad. Loops is now 2-1 in the group after this loss, while Weibo Gaming is now 2-0 in the same group.
Yeah, that's so true, and it makes the storyline on this group even more exciting. And you know what? Weibo Gaming came from that, almost coming to a loss from AJHK from a while ago. And yes, the last chance qualifier. But yeah, this one is very fluid. How they executed it, they do know that they cannot go onto the late game. They don't want the Sheris Arlie to go online, and maybe even Tempest. And I think again onto the Clash lane, Guiyu providing that early advantage up against a lane is just so impressive. How they actually backed him up. So we got a few highlights of clashes in here, because it's a pretty short game at almost 11-minute game time. At 11-minute game time, so it's understandable that we did not have match to show from the highlights. But I guess look at this one with a KDA score of 603 for our Ogren. He didn't die once.
Yeah, and I need to be critical about the itemizations here coming from the side of Loops. Not a single one of them built Venomous Staff or Mortal Punisher. So no way to stop the healing, no way to stop the sustain coming up from that hero. And if you don't stop him with the counter from the reduced healing and lifesteal, you have to draft a lineup with a lot of stuns. And sadly to say, Loop's entire lineup lacked a little bit of both. They had no way to stop the healing, and then they had not much stuns in their lineup.
Yeah, that's so true. Blazing Cape, it was all that just to stop the HP regen. But then again, Musashi and Elaine would usually fall down first because they had to front line. But then again, nice try. And I mean, they're not falling off on the ladder in Group B. So, and they still have some game to play tomorrow, right? So they don't have any more for tonight. But yeah, Weibo Gaming, it was very smooth. I think this is the fastest game that we have casted so far for this day one for our stream B, and it's such an impressive. It's like a different Weibo gaming this time up against Loops in comparison to they had against AG.
Yeah, this was a much more aggressive, much more assertive Weibo Gaming across the map, regardless of their positioning, their plays, their itemizations. They were playing to win, and win the very convincing win there. Like you said, 11, 12 minutes. And we'll take a look at the MVP here from the side of Weibo Gaming. I think it's going to be the Ogren. I think it's going to be their jungler for sure. What do you think, Kaisaya?
It could be the Ogrand as well, to be honest, because this is the first time wherein we did not see the Ogrand fall off like on the early stages of the game, and which is correct. He's got the MVP, Kongling 603, very impressive. We saw him quite a lot of times wherein he's just like frontlining effectively, right? He did not fall off. He knows when to back away and save his life, go for that HP regen to actually give more sustain and space for the D-Renji to free it. So I guess that was like super effective Ogrand that he have showcased to all of us.
Yep, absolutely. And a little bit of the fault does go towards the way of loops, the itemization, like I said earlier. No Mortal Punisher, no Venomous Staff means that he can get all the healing he wants. And let's take a look at the post-game stats. Actually, 0 kills. I swear that they should have at least gotten 1 kill if I'm not mistaken. But
I thought so too. Wait, hang on. I was like dreaming about like, okay, could have been the Arlie got some kills or whatnot. But yeah, this is a very dominating Weibo gaming game.
Yeah, true and true, Kongling, top of the damage for his team. Zere tried his best, but was not able to carry his team on his back. And let's take a look at the updates in terms of the grouping. That puts Loops on a 2-1 scenario, putting them behind Weibo Gaming and the KPL Dream Team, who has yet to lose a single game. Meanwhile, on Group A, LGD still on top there. Vitality has one more game left, at least one more game for the day. Impunity and Vivo Keystars still neck and neck in 3rd and 4th from Kagendra. And Secret has not been able to find a win yet.
Looking sad on that one. And talking about Team Secret, up next will be the match between Team Secret versus Impunity, who's also sitting pretty somewhere there on the top rankings for Group A. So I'm so excited about that. It's going to be a battle between two SEA teams once more. And yeah, this is gonna be looking so exciting because again, will there be another Ogren pick and ban, which is quite shaky because it's either they really prioritize or contest this particular hero and the Arlie as well, which we now finally have seen. We saw lose on this particular match.
Okay, Arlie is balanced. She lost the game. She's definitely balanced. So, teams might start to move away from her. But hey, I don't think it was, an Arlie issue. Zeri definitely played very well on her. It's just that the entire composition was just not built to deal with the Ogren. And we have seen what happens when you let an Ogren roam free. He can do absolutely everything and anything for his team. And you really need to keep him into account when you are building your items for sure. But yeah, like you said, next matchup is going to be very important. Team Secret against Impunity. Team Secret needs the win to crawl away from the bottom of the groups, while Impunity needs this win to almost secure their spot in the top 4. And we're going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen, before we come back with that game. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.